So welcome to a new video on Jagged Alliance 3. Today we'll go over 2 mods, and I have some news from Devstream 32 that was released a couple of weeks ago on YouTube. So the first mod we're going to look at today is the lower AP for pistols and MP. Now if we take a look at the Peacemaker, it's 4 AP to shoot it.
What?
If we look at the Uzi, it's 5 AP to shoot it, a single shot. If we look at Livewire, the high power is 4 AP. Now this simple mod, the lower AP cost for pistols and MPs, will give you quicker handguns and MPs in order to kind of rebalance them, because using them is not something you do a lot. In the beginning of the game, obviously you only have small arms, so you'll have to use them. But later on in the game, when you get a lot of other guns, there's no real use to them, because they're simply too inefficient in terms of range and damage compared to the bigger weapons. Now if we take a look at the machine pistol, basically you can use 4 to 7 on a single shot if you aim it all the way in, or you can burst fire for 5 to 8 if you aim all the way in, obviously. So let's do that.
To die in the legion is to have truly lived.
So now let's see this with the mod in action. So now if we take a look at the Peacemaker, it's only 3 AP. If we take a look at the high power, it's only 3 AP. And if we take a look at the Uzi, it's now 4 AP. If we go into it, we can see that the single shot is now 3 to 6. And the burst fire is now 4 to 7. So basically all of them is now 1 action point cheaper to use. Now of course this is not a lot, but if you look at someone like Barry, he can now do 3 shots, which is 10 AP, rather than 2 shots. Now being able to shoot the Uzi that Alpha has at 4 AP instead of 5 might not seem like a lot, but if you look at it, that without this mod it would be 5 AP to shoot it. She has some free moves, so she can get up to here, and you could move 1 extra and you would be using 1 AP and still have 2 shots left. But since it's now 4, you can actually use 3 AP instead of 1, so she can get even closer.
Going right now.
And still do 2 shots. Or instead, if you look at it, she could try to use the burst fire. That's now, the maximum is now 7. So she can now actually move her free move plus another 4. So rather than getting to like here, she could be able to get all the way up here.
Moving to position.
And do a fully aimed burst fire. Now it's not a big change, but it will make the game somewhat easier in the beginning. If you look at Steroid with his Peacemaker, he can now do 3 shots with his 9 action points, rather than the 2 he could have done before the mod. So now he's actually able to do his free move and do 3 shots. For now, it's only the vanilla pistols and MPs that got changed, and the FAMAS. So the FAMAS got a slight buff as well, but other than that, it's the high power, the Peacemaker, the Tex Revolver, the Beretta 92, the Glock 18, the Deagle, the Conda, the MP40, the Uzi, the MP5, the Commando, the AKSU, and the FAMAS. Now be aware that this mod is not compatible with other mods that changes the vanilla pistols and MPs. It is compatible with tons of guns, and he's working on a compatibility patch to balance the tons of guns, pistols and MPs too. Now, it will also boost run and gun, because yeah, basically you can run more. I still do shooting while running. It will definitely also boost the mobile shot, because again, you can run further and still do shots. Also be aware that the enemy of course has the same low action point cost for their weapons. So let's talk about Devstream 32, patch 1.5, and the modding tools. Some of you might have seen it on that Twitch stream. I didn't have a chance to catch it there. But basically Devstream 32 was all about the new mod tools that we will get pretty soon. Now they went over a lot of the options, and they actually made a small quest. They made a new tactical map with a lot of options. There's a ton of options, and it really looks way too complicated for me, to be honest. But some of the things they told and showcased was the ability to make a full campaign from scratch. If we look at the basic campaign or the main campaign that Heimermann Games made, there's 160 sector grids. That's counting the empty ones and the ones you cannot get into due to mountains and stuff like that. But that's basically every grid on the map. That's 160 grids. Now, the modders will be able to make their own number of one sector map, only one map, 2x2 map with 4 sectors and a very small campaign. They didn't give an upper limit, so we don't know if they can make a 20x20 or 40x40 grid, or even a 100x100 grid. I don't know if any modder would ever have time to do that, but it is maybe a possibility, but we'll have to see about that. Each sector on the map can be defined independently. For example, names, whether it's enemy-owned or neutral, the weather, whether it can be auto-resolved in the combat on the tactical map, or if you have to fight, what kind of terrain is in, if there's a mine, if there's a hospital, what operation is available, and even what music is used. Modders will be able to reuse the map that Heimermann Games already made, so it is possible to reuse the maps and maybe get around making a new campaign somewhat easier and just redefine the stuff you can do in the map by making maybe just some quest changes or some minor changes. This also means that people could potentially take the entire map Heimermann Games make and just add new quests to the base campaign. New quests, new items, new locations, and so on to the base campaign. I'm guessing that the modders will also be able to, for instance, making some of the mountains passable, so you can go into them and have stuff in there, or maybe even make a lot of underground areas beneath the actual game. I don't know exactly how that will work, but I'm hoping that maybe you can download mods that will change a lot of the original game and make new maps, new stuff, and so on. But they didn't go into that in particular. It's also going to be very interesting whether or not you can reuse other people's maps. So if other people makes map, would you be able to actually grab those maps and use them? Maybe people could make maps and upload them to the Steam Workshop, and modders could take those maps and use them. Some people are very, very skilled at making awesome maps, and maybe others are more skilled in making all the various quests needed. So hopefully that will be a possibility. Of course, you can edit the map directly inside the mod tool and go into it and pretty much change the map as you see fit, or build the map from scratch. There is a cap on the map size. Of course, there's a lot of other stuff you can do in the mod tool. You can activate all mercs from the start. You can set different conditions. You can build your own characters. You can build the NPCs, give them weapons, give them names, upload pictures and everything. Now, once you've downloaded a mod, you will go into the game as normal, and when you get into the game, you will be able to enter the normal game or any other campaign that the modders made. Heimermann Games are planning to do a sample mod, so modders can see what is happening inside the mod tool. They have also promised to do extensive documentation on how to use the mod tools. Right now, there's this video they made in the dev stream where you can see some stuff and where modders can maybe get a glimpse at what will happen and how to use the tool. And judging by the history so far, they have been very, very good at supporting the mod community. And of course, they still have the Discord you can join as a modder, where you can even get to talk to the developers sometimes, and they will help you out if you are in trouble. Another thing that will be added in 1.5, besides the mod tool, which I'm really looking forward to, is that there will be more in-game options when you set up the game, so you can tweak the difficulty, and basically you can make it harder. So yeah, that's it for DevStream 32, and now on to the second mod. So the second mod we're going to look at today is the GC Vendor Overhaul mod. Basically what it does is that it changes the items in the flea market, and when you try to buy something at Granny Kahani, normally when you go to them you can click it and you can buy some random stuff, but after you install the mod, once you click on it, it will open it up and you will actually see a shop here. So here it's possible to actually buy an RPK, and Glock 18 and MP40 and high power or Uzi. Now I have plenty of money, but you can, for instance, click this one, and you will buy it instantly. You can also try to haggle. Now, all of the vendors will have different items. Now, of course, it's based on what it was before, but now you're actually able to buy whatever you want from the vendors themselves. You still try to haggle, and actually Red was able to get an 11% discount, so all of the stuff just dropped the price a bit. We can also buy a first aid kit for him, so we did that. And as you can see, he now has a first aid kit. You could even buy mortar shells, hand grenades. Of course, up at the ammo dealer, you can get different kinds of ammunition. These vendors restock every day. At the flea market, you get cheap items. But if you go to Granny Kohani, you will get more expensive items, better quality items. But it only restocks every 6 days. You should note that this mod will not work with other mods that changes sector H9 and K9. Also, he has plans to rework the scrap collector. He has plans to adding modded weapons to the stock, and he will try to rework the other vendors in Grandjean as well. It could be the vendors at the southern islands near the cornfield, but he hasn't completed the game yet, so he hasn't found any other vendors than these two. In any case, this will give you access to some pretty nice stuff fairly early on. So is this mod overpowered? Maybe a little bit, because you can get access to items you otherwise wouldn't be able to get. But of course, if you're playing with other mods like custom settings and you already tweak the drop rate of weapons and such, it's not really that much of an upgrade. Granted, you can get a few grenades and stuff like that, which is of course nice, but it's nothing big. Anyways, that was the two mods for today. Of course, I'm hoping that we will get the mod tool soon, as I talked about earlier, and I'm guessing that once we get that, we should see a lot more mods incoming. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, before I say goodbye, do press that like and subscribe button. It will help me out a lot. And that's it for today. Rex are out.